Welcome back to the Griffin's Nest, friends. Yeah, welcome back. We're so glad to have you, and sorry about the delay. We had some internet connection problems, but we got it all fixed and patched up now. Better late than ever, as they tend to say. Yeah, absolutely. So, whew, goodness me. Have you ever had a time where something just really made you very upset? Yeah, absolutely. That's why I like to count to 4. You count to 4 when you're angry? Yeah, it works like this. 1, smash something. 2, smash something else. 3, fix the first thing. 4, fix the second thing. And that's how I count to 4 when I'm angry. Well, but don't worry. I don't fix like the jams that I fight when I'm inside the body. We don't do that. That would defeat the purpose of protecting you and keeping you germ-free. Not if we fix them. I would imagine not. Well, thank you for sharing that with us, Auntie. Yo, welcome. So what we got going on today? So we're going to do a quick recap of the story that we read last on Wednesday. And if you'll remember, the story was called Friendless Pavilion. Do you remember what the pavilion was? Yep, the golden house. Yeah, it was made by that god, and he gave it to his son, who wanted to be all like, I don't want to live here, and I fell in love with a girl over in the next town, and she was all like, well, I don't want a golden house, but I do want a golden house. Yeah. And then he was like, I got you a golden house. Don't worry, boo. I'll hook you up. I got a father in high places. Can I finish? No. Let me summarize it for you. Oh, okay. So then he was all like, okay, fine, I'll be at your house, but you gotta promise you gotta be in my town. You gonna be in my house? That ain't enough. You gotta be in my town. You ain't moving out of this neighborhood. And what did he do? He decided, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Yep, that's right. But was he happy? No! That girl was all like, I don't want to live in no golden house. I feel all separated and isolated from other people. I want a wooden house. And the father was all like, go figure, that's exactly what I was thinking. And the son was like, can I have that, Dad? And he's all like, don't worry, son, I'll hook you up, but this is the last time. And he understood that, yeah, but wouldn't it be kind of cool to live in a golden house? I don't know, I'd have to try it for a little while and see. I mean, it would definitely look pretty, but if it somehow just was too shiny for my eyes, I might have to move back out. Yeah, okay, I can understand that. So yeah, that's a fair point. Try something before you knock it. That's what I always say. All right, so what are we bringing this back up for again? Real quick, Miss Mithril was able to pull up some pictures of the Golden Pavilion. Would you like to see what it looked like? And some pictures of other pavilions? Oh, that sounds exciting! Let's do it! Alright, stand by. We'll be right back with those golden pavilions. I'm so excited. Oh, is that the golden pavilion? Well, is it golden? No, not quite. Kind of looks like a porch or an outside gazebo. This one is shaped like this is called a pavilion. This one's by the seaside. Here's another one looking very similar, but instead of by the beach, whoops, it is in fact at night in someone's backyard. By a swimming pool! Now that's luxury. Can you do the same things under this pavilion? It looks a little different. Well, what's this right here? This must be it. This has got to be it. But the story was called the Friendless Pavilion. Yeah, and all these people look like they're gathered about, like friends do. Yeah? So what they're doing with that example is coming together to read a story. Now this one is a golden pavilion, but it's called something a little different. It's actually in Japan, and it's called the Kekwanaji, if I pronounced that okay. I think I did okay. And that one is very beautiful in the wintertime, as you could see. Yeah, that was interesting. Very nice. I love the snow on that little island. And it sure was golden, or at least a yellowish color. But that's far away from Thailand. It's over there in Japan. Very beautiful tourist attraction. Absolutely. Alright, friends, I hope you enjoyed that. When I saw the pictures, I was like, I gotta show the Griffins this. Which one was your favorite? If you've ever seen a gazebo, as you saw, they're very similar. It's basically kind of like a wall-less house, a very small house, where you can do special things within it. Yeah, as you can see. Uh-oh. As you can see, there was different things that they were doing. Yeah, that's right. In one place, they were reading a book together in a little group, and in one, you saw beside the bathtub, and in one of them, you saw the little tables where you could eat at. There's all sorts of different things that you can do in a pavilion, including a living one that tiny. No wonder that girl wanted to move out. Well, I think that was a special pavilion. Like, it was probably as big as a house. I'd say so. I mean, after all, she did ask for a house. Yes. So, what we got next, Miss Mithral? So today's story is a very special one. Since we've been talking all week about wildlife in spring, I've got this book called Where Once There Was a Wood. And we're going to do something a little special with it today. Hang tight and I'll be right back. See if you notice something different. Do you hear the music? So we're going to enjoy the music while we listen to this story. I'd like for you to take very close attention to the pictures in the story. See what kind of wildlife you can pick out. Where Once There Was a Wood by Denise Fleming. For Indigo, Sam, Emily, Molly, and Rachel. The future. Where once there was a wood. A meadow. And a creek. This looks like a kingfisher Kingfisher bird. See, he's got a really long bill. Or a beak, rather. So he can spear up that delicious fish. Like a fisherman. Where once the red fox rested and closed his eyes to sleep. You see the fox? Where once the ferns unfurled and purple violets grew. You see the purple violets? How many are there? Can we count them together? 1, 2, 3. And there's a bumblebee working his way to spread the pollen between the flowers. Must be the most fun thing in the world to sail around as quickly as they can fly around, huh? Where once the woodchuck left his den to catch the morning dew. Where once the horned owl hunted to feed her hungry brood. Brood is another word for family. Looks like she's looking for some food for her babies. Where once the heron fished and speared his glittering food. Another bird that likes to fish. What do you see over here? It's a dragonfly, that's right. Where once the brown snake slithered and slipped out of sight. Moved along saying, can't see me. Can't see me. Where once the raccoons rambled and rummaged in the the night. What do you think they're saying to each other? Making plans for the night, huh? Where once the berries ripened and waxwings came to feed. See these birds? They're called waxwings. Can you say waxwing? Very good. Where once the pheasants roosted and fed on nuts and seeds. This is one of Miss Mithrill's favorite birds. Quails are gorgeous. They have a very stoic posture. And beautiful blue heads. Where once there was a wood, a meadow, and a creek. Sit houses side by side. 20 houses deep. Another word for our homes is shelter. Different creatures all have different ways of having shelter. What's most important is to have neighbors and be neighbors. Sometimes people would have to clear the area and the trees of a forest and the grass and use up the water in the creek near the meadow to make their own homes. It's important to remember that we can still be good neighbors to them. One thing we can do is practice really cool crafts in springtime, especially because animals are starting to come out of their burrows, their caves. They're trying to come out of their own shelters from hibernation, from their really long sleep. So they're going to be hungry. If we can help by providing them some food full of nutrients and goodness, then that's really awesome to do. It's just nice, and it can be really fun too. I'll show you what I mean. Hang tight, and we're going to do our own bird feeder in just a moment. So, if you have your supplies, go ahead and run and get them organized in the way that you like it. If not, that's okay. You can run back this video anytime later and follow along. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and show you what we're going to do. Alright, see you in just a moment. And we're back. Welcome back, Ruth friends. Tell us about your setup here, Cher. Alright, so we got a couple of things that we're going to need. First off, we are going to need that toilet paper roll. Any good, clean toilet paper roll will do. Make sure there's no toilet paper left on it. Scratch off or get off as much as you can. It'll just be a distraction. Plus, it's probably not good for the birds to eat with. When was the last time you saw a bird that was like, I want to eat a I want to eat a toilet paper roll today. Right here, I've got some butter, but you can use peanut butter of any kind. Some butter is, it doesn't have any nuts, and it's very allergy friendly. So this is good to have just in general. Plus, it's very tasty. In my opinion, it's sometimes better than peanut butter. Just something about it. The warm creaminess that washes over your tongue. If you haven't tried it yet, give it a try sometime. Here's our string we're going to be using. See that? Made it pretty long. So this is a good time to get out that measuring tape if you need it. And I kind of just eyeballed mine. Make sure it's stretching long enough to go through the toilet paper roll. See that? Oh yeah, that's nice and long, ain't it? Sure is. And I've got what's called a butter knife. See this? Or a spreading knife. Yeah. It's not quite as sharp as a regular knife, but still be very careful with it. In fact, I would highly recommend using something plastic to that part of the job, just to be on the safe side. And as you can see here, I've got plenty of bird seed. That's a lot of bird seed. That's going to cover one tube. Probably going to have a lot left over, but that's okay. As I always say, it's better to have more than less. You can always add more in. That takes up more time. Alright, so we're going to get it together. Put that over to the side for now. Oh, something else I did not think to grab, but I would highly advise get paper towel roll. Get yourself a nice paper towel roll, okay? So that we don't get the table dirty. And I can go ahead and just clean off the table later. I always wash it before the next show anyway, or the next craft, so it's not too much trouble. But just to save mom and dad some time and space, go ahead and grab it. Or you could use your food placemat as well. Because that's definitely something you can use that's nearby at the table that you can clean quickly. So we're just going to give it some nice spreading onto it. You want to press while you go. See how I'm pressing? Press. And we are trying to even it out as much as possible. Now the goal is to cover it up completely. Because we want as much bird seed to stick on there as possible. You hear the birds chirping in the music? Maybe they're saying to themselves, I can't wait to see the bird feeder. I can get some of that yummy bird seed. Cheep, 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 cheep. Can you make sounds like a bird? Let me hear you. That's very good. I like it. Alright, so we're almost done with this part. What's also nice about making these is it's very therapeutic. It makes you feel good. Because you get time to think about what you're doing. Feel relaxed. You're doing something nice and quiet. And for a good cause. There might be a mama bird out there somewhere that's, just having a tough day. We all have tough days. Animals have tough days too. And she might really need to be finding something for her baby chicks. And thanks to you and your kindness, she's able to grab up some of these seeds and take home the nutrients to her. Maybe some get stuck to her leg. She's able to feed one to the baby. Or better yet, it gives her the strength so she can continue to keep flying. It's always nice to do something for mommy and daddy or your guardian just to do something that might help them for their day. So whether it's packing them a nice note in their lunchbox, or drawing a picture, or heck, making a special treat the night before and sneaking it into their breakfast, or putting it on the breakfast plate. You don't want to be too sneaky. It always brings a smile to their face, and they love anything and everything by you. Alright, so we are completely done. Alright, see how it's all covered up and smoothed out? Not an inch is not covered. So here's the real fun part. It might get a little messy too. So we're going to put it in. And we're pressing just like with the knife? Yep, we sure are. You're pressing and you're rolling. So if one of your favorite activities at school is playing with the pin roller and the Play-Doh, this is your moment to really shine and put those skills to good use. I'd say so. You gotta have really strong muscles. What? Any of you kids have good strong muscles for this? I bet you do. Let me see those muscles. Oh, wow, look at you. Oh, we're gonna have to have ourselves a contest later, aren't we? Alright, as you can see, it is complete. Whoops, hold on, almost missed a spot. Alright, it is almost completely covered up, and there we go. Alright, look how much that glistens, and if you pressed hard enough, which Miss Mithril did not, whoop, then the sun butter is going to do a very good job just holding the seabird seed in place. So, let's leave that in there for just a second. And then, you're taking that string, remember the string we had? We're going to stick it in through one side. Goodness, can you see that very well? It's kind of blending in, isn't it? Well, give me just a second. And we're going to push it through the toilet paper roll all the way. Do you see it poking out the side there? Yeah? Yeah, I got it. Good catch, Miss Mithril. Thank you. Okay, now this might be a little challenging, unless you already know how to tie a knot. You can get mom and dad to help you, or a big brother or big sister. If they know how to tie their shoe, they should be able to do this. So you're going to take the two ends of the string, and you are going to tie it up. Make a knot. You want to make it nice and tight. So that way, no matter what kind of weather comes along, whether it's rain or windiness or sleet, yeah, sure, some sleet, doesn't come and blow it down. You can even give it a double knot if you want. Okay, Griffins, we are done. Look at that. And some ideas of where to put this where birdies can reach it. Maybe on a low branch in a tree. Or see if there's a nice hook on the outside of your wall somewhere in your house. Or maybe even somewhere on your playground if you have one in your backyard. Because you don't have to worry about the seeds falling off. Birds will always come by and eat it later. Alright, I'm going to go real quick to wash my hands. I would highly recommend you do the same, especially if you're doing this with me. We'll be right back to start on a folktale. Oh dear, the mic was off. Well, sorry about the lack of the AFK slide. I went to go wash my hands and make sure that all the sun butter was off. Anyway, as you see, the bird feeder turns out really good. So, one quick announcement. As I've said before, Miss Mithril loves playing video games a lot. And one of the most big, important things I like to do when it comes to playing video games is I do it for what's called charity. Charity is a way to give money or donations of any kind to somebody in need. And Extra Life is what's called a non-profit organization that takes on people to play games and spread awareness for children like you in hospitals. And next week I'm going to be playing 3 really big games in a tournament where I'll be playing for different amounts of money, hoping to be the top 8 to get money for Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. Everything goes towards them. If you'd like to tune in, those sessions will be announced as PG, so they will be child-friendly. They are child-friendly games and family-friendly as well. I'll be playing online Splendor, what's called Puyo Puyo Championship, and Uno. So 2 of them are more familiar games that you can have in your home. Puyo Puyo Championship is purely online, but all these games have been modified so I can play online. So if that sounds interesting to you, I welcome you to come tune in and check it out. Also, if you can give something to contribute, as always, our show is absolutely free. That's what it's original intent for. But if there's anybody out there that wanted to contribute a little something to help children in hospitals today, especially through this rough time of the coronavirus, then they are gladly accepted and appreciated. Otherwise, spreading the word, sharing my posts are a great way just to let people know. The way I see it is you do what you can when you can. Alright, so thank you for that. Without further ado, I'll go ahead and start the folktale. No, inside. Oh, I left the book over there. Whoop. it was not quite where I left it. It fell off the shelf. Oh, goodness. Today's such a crazy day, but I do appreciate you guys sticking with Miss Mithril today, despite it all. Alright, Hey, Maelstrom. No. Maelstrom has gotten curious and was wondering about the birds. You wanna curl up and join me for the story? Come here, baby. Come here, hold tight, guys. Come here. Yeah. Alright. This is another great way to pass the time. If you need to practice your reading, it's more fun to do it with a furry friend, huh? I'm right here, Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Alright, today's story is called The Little Priest. In the northern part of Mahasarkam province, there used to be a small village called Nakom, which means village. Nakom was so tiny that it contained only one temple, and in the temple there lived only one priest and one novice. It means somebody that was studying under him. The priest was very tall and perhaps becoming a little fat, whereas the novice was very short. To the people in the village, they were the tall priest and the little priest. They insisted on calling the novice the little priest even though he was not one, for they were ashamed that their village had only one priest in its temple. The little priest began wondering if he really wanted to become a priest. He knew that the tall priest would be his superior until the day he died, because the tall priest was the older of the two, and he had discovered after having lived with the tall priest for a few months that he was a very foolish man. Oh my goodness. But this was not the reason why the little priest contemplated leaving the temple. What galled the little prince most was that people thought that he, and not the tall priest, was the foolish one. The little priest complained about it to his uncle, one of the most respected men in the village. Why, he cannot even recall the proper chants for the prayers, he said. It's a good thing that the people don't know the language of the chants, or they might become angry with the priest. My son, I know this bothers you, his uncle replied, but recall that one does not enter the priesthood just to have a pleasant life. If you were to leave the priesthood now, all your family would be sad. Do you know how proud your parents are of you? They know that someday you will become the head priest, even if you must wait for many years. Think of the honor you are bringing to us all by your sacrifice. The little priest understood his uncle very well. He knew that to leave the priesthood would be the worst thing he could do. He decided he would have to do something which would prove to all the people of his village who the foolish one was. Then the people of the village would not say to each other, "Have you seen the little priest doing something foolish today? No, I have never seen him do anything foolish, but he must be the foolish one, for our head priest could not be foolish." The next morning, when the tall priest and the little priest sat down to eat one of the meal of the day, the little priest began eating the liver of a water buffalo. "What are you eating, my little priest?" asked the tall priest. "Only the liver of a water buffalo." "Is it good?" "Yes, it is very good." "Have you never had any?" "No, I haven't." "Would you like some?" The tall priest was delighted with the meat. In fact, he wanted to eat more. So the little priest gave him all that he had, and when he had eaten, the tall priest still was not satisfied. "Where can I get some more?" he asked the little priest. "It's easy," the little priest said. "When you see a buffalo that is yawning, you must jump on its back, and with one of your arms reach as far down its throat as you can. And I'm sure your arms are long enough. You will feel the liver when you have done this, and all you have to do is to pull it out." "But won't that kill the animal?" the tall priest asked incredulously. "Not at all," the little priest replied. "Try it and see." Oh, goodness. So the tall priest hurried out of the temple yard and into the street and stood by the first buffalo he saw. As soon as it showed signs of yawning, he did exactly what the little priest had instructed. However, the buffalo did not cooperate as promised. It was so startled and bewildered with the strange object being thrust down its throat that it closed its mouth upon the tall priest's arm. Now he could not remove his arm, however hard he tried. And as the priest moved his arm around with what little he could, the buffalo was pained even more. It began running wildly through the town, dragging the tall priest on its back. It was a very curious sight indeed. A buffalo running madly through the town, and the tall priest on its back, his saffron robes flowing after him, and his arm mysteriously in the buffalo's mouth. The people looked out of their houses in disbelief. "Look at what the tall priest is doing!" they shouted. Behind the buffalo and the tall priest ran the little priest, laughing as hard as he could, for he was very pleased with his joke. "At last," he thought, "everyone knows! At last!" Soon the villagers were all running after the buffalo and the tall priest. Although they were laughing, they also wanted to help the priest. Finally the buffalo headed for the pond, which was near the village. Once it was in the water, it relaxed and the tall priest was able to withdraw his mangled arm. The little priest stood on the edge of the pond laughing. Some say he laughed so hard that he died. Others say he laughed so hard he fell into the water and drowned. Anyway, from that time on, there was no doubt in anyone's mind who the foolish one had been. The tall priest was not well for many weeks, but he did recover, and from that day he tried very hard never to do a silly thing. The people of Nakom decided to rename their town Chien-Ye-Un, which means the little standing priest. And that is the name even to this day, although it displeases many people in other cities who have heard this story and do not consider it properly to think of priests this way. Oh goodness, Maelstrom, you're about to fall out of my lap! Well, I think... Oh, geez and Pete's. I think Maelstrom's... got the head on the money. Right now, it is time to, I guess, go play. Get some exercise in, and it'll be lunchtime. Oh, it's not. Probably already lunchtime because we were running so late. Well, boys and girls, I hope that you've had a good time despite all the craziness. And remember, even if things don't always go your way, there's always room for other neat things to happen. And you can choose to look at it that way. Well, Maelstrom and I'll say goodbye. And I guess we'll go play for a little while. Maybe go out into the sun and hang up the bird feeder. Stay tuned. I'll be sure to post some pictures to show you where we put it. Alright, have a great day. Bye-bye. See you next week.